I'm Alex Keller.
And I'm Mike Harding.
And this is the Filmtastic Voyage on video.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, it's the Filmtastic Voyage, episode 100. How did we make it this far? I have no idea.
I have no idea. It boggles the mind, doesn't it?
You know, I can think back to way back when we were just little saplings, Alex. Just little saplings.
Episode 1, when this show had like a reason to be. Back when we actually had like a log line and like something that made us different. And I'd like to think that we're like, you know, the internet's least successful podcast.
Well, I don't know about the least successful, but we're so successful that we're having a video episode 100. Hey, everybody from our Let Me Listen fans to our iTunes fans, head on over to YouTube.com.
Don't know if you heard about it.
Filmtastic Voyage, and you'll see this episode video form. You get to see our ugly mugs.
Yeah, I'm dressed up in a suit for no good goddamn reason.
And I'm dressed up in my fanciest shirt.
And I brought me some sipping whiskey, so I'm gonna.
And I'm drinking piss. No,
So,
no, I'm just kidding.
For episode 100, I'm gonna just.
I'm drinking
nice
iced tea.
time.
I'm drinking iced tea. It's very lovely. And hey,
Cheers,
Alex. Cheers. Here's to another 100 episodes.
100 episodes of whatever this is.
It's the Filmtastic Voyage, where we talk about movies, music, Batman, Star Wars,
Whatever.
all kinds of stuff. So, Alex, I guess with all that fanfare out of the way, how's your week? How's your week in movies?
Oh, it's all right. I saw some things. First thing, man, the Academy. They're breaking my balls with their new Oscar rule changes, man. I've been steamed. They're steaming my buns this whole week.
Steaming your buns.
I don't know, man. Like whatever. Like Tuesday, I woke up to the news. I'm like, God damn it! Like so, for the news folks at home. So what they're doing is the Oscars were like last year. No one watched our show, so we're going to be adding.
Is that true? No one watched?
It was their like lowest viewership in a while or something like that.
Oh man! Okay.
But like, it's hard to say because like viewership is a kind of low across the board for award shows, except the Tonys, which I'll bring that back. So like, yeah, no one watched our show last year. 26 million people, you know, not that many people, I guess, for that they're used to. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a popular movie category to try and trick people into watching our show, which I think is kind of dumb. And then even worse is we're gonna edit out of this of the I don't want to call it the stream of the event. We're gonna edit out a lot of the more boring technical awards, and we'll like edit them together and shove them at the end or something. So because we don't want to bore people with all of our bullshit. To which I say, as a technical movie person who works in the technical field, that's kind of shitty.
Well, okay, so what is the category that they added?
Well, it's like not a category right now. It's like the idea. They're going to add a popular movie category, which I don't think makes sense because...
A popular movie category?
Like greatest achievement in popular film or something like to that effect, which doesn't make sense because a movie that's both critically... not critically...
Like for the last year, they're going to be like, oh, this is a popular movie.
A movie that's like commercially successful and culturally
relevant
is its own award. It doesn't need another fucking award on top of it. That doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
It's so condescending and so patronizing to the movie.
But they don't have a name for it. They don't have a name for it yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay, but it is something to the likeness of most popular movie.
Basically, or it's best popular movie goes to
Transformers 5.
What they're doing essentially, and like what I feel they're doing is they're just trying to make it so that like Black Panther wins something.
Oh, okay. They're okay. So they're picking up the blockbuster movies that usually don't get awards except for VFX and sound effects, and then they're making that. That's like. I mean, it. Okay, I think it's bad for the Oscars, but I don't. like I'd like to give it a try.
I'd
like to give that a try.
That part's the least of my worries. Like I don't give a shit. I find it, it's insulting to those movies. I think that's like, you won like the participation award. Good for you. But like whatever, if they want to hand it out, I don't care.
It's like a fake award. It's a fake award.
It's the change to the ceremony that really really gets me going, because
gets your goat.
Well, because I said, like, for the folks who don't know, I'm a VFX artist. I work in the VFX field, and that's probably one of the more, because it's the one that they nominated all the fun movies for, all the razzle dazzle movies. So that probably won't be edited away, I'd like to think. But like, still, it's so insulting to people who do like best short documentary or like animated short or something that's probably going to get the shaft. Nixed. And that, like, those people, it's the one time of the year where they can be on the same stage and have the same voice as Brad Pitt or whatever big actor, and now they're like, you guys don't matter, you're shit. Only actors and directors matter. It's really
so
mean.
Hold on. So they get the awards, they get nominated, and they get awarded, but they're just not a part of the ceremony now.
They are, but they're going to be.
But they're
accepting their awards during the commercial break.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So basically, it's like they're not going to be seen by nobody.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's like. I don't know. It just really bothers me, because there's a couple of things. It's like it kind of says, like, the Academy and ABC and all those people were basically saying, if it wasn't for the audience, this award doesn't exist, which doesn't make sense to me. Because it's like, if zero people watch the Oscars, it should still exist as an institution. That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
Is is Hollywood to award its peer, people within Hollywood award their peers what they thought was best, and like,
right, yeah.
And also B, by getting rid of like the more nuanced and smaller categories, it becomes even more of a big circle jerk that everyone accuses it of being. It's like, if the show's only about actors and directors doing their whole thing, then like, that's basically, it's all everyone. It's so annoying when people say, "Oh, the Oscars, that's just a big Hollywood circle jerk." It's like, there's so much more to Hollywood than just actors. Everyone.
Well, it's like you said a long time ago. I forget what episode. We'll just say it's like episode 43.
Check all the episodes, and you'll find it.
It's a city full of gaffers, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, 99. I would say 99% of people working in and on movies or TV or whatever are production, and the rest, and then there's that one. Well, we'll say 5% or 10%, or a small number is the actual on-screen screen acting. Yeah. There's a lot of people that work on a movie. Just check the credits of any movie, right?
And actors are very important, obviously. They're like screen talent.
Well, sure, yeah. But goddamn, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, how much do we have to prop these people up and sort of diminish the importance of the people that make that make these people look good on screen, is I guess what I'm saying.
Like, there's a chance it could all be fine and all be a good idea. I don't know. I don't think anything will convince me that the editing will be another thing. But the reason that the Tonys do that, and the Tonys were the only award last year that wasn't down viewership wise. So I have a feeling that whoever's in charge of the broadcast for the Oscars was like, let's just do what the Tonys do. But I don't know anything about the Tonys.
Oh, I see.
Because I'm an uncultured swine. So I don't really know like what kind of awards they shuffle in the back end and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And like, maybe there's like just too many. Either way, the point is to save time, because like the Oscars are so long. It's such a long ceremony. We gotta save time. It's like, why don't you just cut out the song performances or something? That's 20 minutes already. Nobody likes those. Well, but then, Alex, here's the thing. We can sit here and say nobody likes those, but then what about the people that worked on those songs? Well, they should still get they'll see, like, it's double dipping, because they get the song performance. Double dipping. And then they also, when they do the montage for best song, they have them play again. Yeah. They have a double dip. So what my solution is, like, just have those montages be like 20 seconds where you play like the chorus of the song, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a good song, and then you go on to the next one. You don't have to have the whole overproduced 3-4 minute long to do. Right. I mean, like, that's probably insulting to the songwriters and all that stuff. But I'm saying, like, if there's corners to cut, I would say, hey, why don't they just stick to their guns? Why don't they just not cut any corners at all? I mean, okay, so ratings are low, but like, how bad does it make you look when your scruples are completely dependent on what's popular at the time? Last year, 2017, was a pretty bad year for movie
sales anyways, wasn't it? Wasn't it kind of a year where movies weren't doing so good, lucratively speaking?
I thought it was a record-breaking year of some sort.
Really?
Well, every year is. They always say it's doing bad, but there's always those like really big movies that make it big. I'm sure 2018 is going to be a big.
2018 is going to be a big year. Holy shit. Hey everybody, if you're just tuning in, this is the 100th episode. That's right, get excited. 100 episodes, all right? That's like if every episode is an hour and let's say 15-ish minutes, that's like 100 and a lot of hours to check yourself with movies with Alex and I. Alex, I hope the Academy does the right thing, but we'll see. I have no idea.
Either way, like someone kind of made a good point. I remember reading it was what they're doing is kind of like if they were if the Oscars was like a graduation ceremony, a high school graduation, it'd be like people with low GPAs, you're not allowed to walk on stage this year because the audience is going to get bored. It's like it's not about the audience; it's about the people on stage. The Oscars are about the artists who make the movies. It's not about the audience being entertained. Even like they're entertained by the movies, but they're not about the ceremony. It shouldn't be about them, and I find that insulting as an artist and. As an artist working in Hollywood or whatever, I want to toot my own horn. Now, wouldn't you sound like an asshole? But
wouldn't I guess I understand what you're saying, but wouldn't a more likely comparison to me could also be like, oh hey, you have these students that give speeches at graduation, whereas some other students don't.
Well, why don't you? I mean, I'm saying it's like, well, the Oscars right now have too many speeches. Cut some of those out and don't, make the people getting their diplomas suffer.
Oh, okay. Oh, so maybe less speeches, but we still see them on screen.
Yeah, like
gotcha.
I think the people who make the movies and win the awards should be able to speak live on camera, and have be on the same level for an evening as everyone else.
Now, let me ask you something else. I think it's interesting that ratings for the Oscars are pretty low. And do you think it's indicative of any cultural changes?
Well, I think it's no one really has live TV anymore. Like for the last few years,
there's that, right?
I've been struggling to be able to find places to watch the Oscars until until more fairly recently, where I can actually stream it for once. But the Oscars, they keep it behind a paywall. If they really wanted that viewership, just have it free to stream for a night, like the Super Bowl or whatever.
Sure, yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't surprise me that ratings are lower than they have been or whatever, because honestly, man, like everybody I know that's like in our age group, our peers, I don't know anybody that has cable. Like I don't know anybody who decides, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend $100 extra bucks, whatever, a month to have cable, because cable has been like kind of a bum deal comparatively speaking to just having streaming stuff, right?
I have no idea. I've never met a single person since in the last 5 years who has cable who aren't my parents.
I had cable for 1 year from 2013 to 2014, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia brand new episodes as they come out. And then when we got the cable package, that's when Always Sunny moved from FX to FXX.
Oh no!
And we had FX, but we didn't have FXX. And at the end of that year, I'm like, wow, I really had this for no goddamn reason. There's no reason for me to have cable at all.
Yeah, what a waste of time.
Because if you're into like whatever, I'd say the most I could be invested in is maybe 5 shows at a time, the most. Mm-hmm. And outside of that, like. What am I don't watch sports. I don't watch the news.
Yeah, like sports and news are kind of where you got to be,
Yeah, and okay, so like if we were to whittle down a monthly subscription for 5 shows, you're paying like $20 to $25 for one show or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, like the streaming world's gotten kind of wacky because like now there's like 8 different things you have to sign up for if you want to watch everything on every different network. But as someone who doesn't really watch TV,
yeah.
Again, the only shows I watch are like Game of Thrones, and it's just HBO Go whenever it comes out, and then like something on Netflix maybe. I don't know.
The Game of Thrones.
Yep.
When's that coming back?
Next year,
2019.
spring?
It better be
spring
good.
Sometime.
It
Was
better
that a threat?
be good. It better be good.
It better be good.
HBO. Not that it hasn't been. It's been lovely. It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
of movies, Alex, I wanted to tell you real quickly.
Game of Thrones is a TV show. I know it may look like a movie, but it's actually a television program.
I saw just last night Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, finally.
Yes.
Was it all those things I said it was?
I mean, I think it's. I don't look at it as my favorite Mission Impossible movie. But the more I think about it, I probably just don't even have a favorite Mission Impossible movie.
They run together, do they?
They're all very similar. You know, the problem. Okay, if people say MCU has a villain problem, hey, I understand that. But you know what else has a villain problem? Mission Impossible.
No, that's always been their weakest thing. I think Philip Seymour Hoffman was a well-acted villain, but as a villain himself, he was kind of like nothing. Like he's not really. He doesn't have much of a character.
Right.
Like he's scary and threatening. But like what's his motivation besides like money? It's just not much of a compelling villain. And the guy from 5 and 6, I like him more. He's one of the more better villains, but he's still on like the same level as like a normal James Bond villain.
He's sort of just a slightly creepy guy.
Yeah.
But not. I mean, I guess he's fine. He's cool, but like, I don't know. It was a fine movie. It's just it doesn't. It's never been like front. It's not like this spectacle to me. It's just sort of like, well, that was a great movie.
Oh man, I enjoyed this fuck out of that spectacle.
I mean, I will say like, and hey, everybody, you know, by now this movie's been out for 2 or 3 weeks, right? So close your ears if you don't want to hear any spoilers. The helicopter thing, that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was great.
Well, the motorcycle chase was cool. I thought the bathroom fight scene was great.
Yeah.
You know what I learned?
Yeah.
Was really fun is the guy that was the target of the bathroom fight scene was the same guy who was the stormtrooper that Finn fought in episode 7.
Oh, with the okay
goes, traitor.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Cool. Yeah, it was a nice solid movie. I'm not like I'm never really a fan of the mask stuff, but they kept it to a minimum. So that's good.
They only did it the one time.
They did it twice. Well,
they tried to do it once.
They tried to do it
twice.
The
one time, which was a great scene because early in the film, Henry Cavill was like, "That doesn't work on anyone. That's stupid."
Oh, right.
And then he got tricked.
I'm really happy to see Henry Cavill in a movie where he's well written, well directed, great paced, just a great. Fun movie.
I like Man from U.N.C.L.E. I know no one
seems
to join me on that one, but I love Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Is he signed up to do any more Superman stuff at the moment?
Probably.
I haven't heard anything.
I mean, I don't know what's going on exactly. I'm sure he's just something.
Okay. Because, yeah, it seems like there hasn't been any news on the Superman front for a while. You know.
Yeah, well, they're focused on their Shazams and all that other stuff.
Yeah, taking a break.
Did I read that Aquaman's going to have no other DC characters in it besides the Aquaman characters, which is probably a good move?
It seems like that movie's that way.
I don't know if you read that too.
I haven't read it, but I honestly, dude, I think they should kind of stay away from that. To be honest,
with the crossovers,
just sort of haphazardly doing it, I guess is what I mean. Like sort of just doing it to do it. Like Suicide Squad was that way, where I felt like, hey, we got Batman in here, and it's like, well, why?
Because it's fun. Because the Joker's there.
And like the Joker's there, and it's like, why?
Did you watch the new Venom trailer?
Which?
The one with Venom, where Venom, he's like a big black monster with teeth.
Yeah, but it's the one where it shows like all the symbiote.
Yeah, it shows him having a big symbiote fuck, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to eat your face.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah, Venom is hearty-tarty-tartying around that whole trailer.
Yeah, he is hearty Tom Harding around that whole trailer.
Here's the thing. I think that first teaser really kind of fucked them a bit.
Yeah.
And I think they've been trying to dig themselves out of that bad first impression since then. Mm-hmm. And I think every trailer has gotten just a little bit better. But I'm still thinking it's not going to be a great movie.
Well, we'll see. It could be. Everything's not bad until it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a point now where I'll see it because I'm like, well, this could be good. But my expectations are realistic.
Some people are pissed off that it's not going to be R-rated, to which I say, oh God, who cares?
I think.
Like, you could do R-rated Venom, but, like, in what world is Venom going to be an R-rated movie?
Well, and then hold on. I mean, realistically, you could make. Trust me, there's plenty of rated R material in Venom comics. But I also feel like, hey, here's a movie that won't make any money. A rated R Venom movie. I think.
Well, like,
honestly.
Yeah, the rated R, and it's like, Sony's not going to take that chance. They're like, they're trying to get their whole Spider-Man side universe thing off the ground. They're not going to make an R-rated movie to kick that off. They'd make an R-rated movie to accentuate that. X-Men didn't start off R-rated. Only Logan was. And Logan was like, not really an effects-heavy movie at the end of the day.
Right.
So
yeah.
Same with Deadpool. I mean, the first Deadpool half of it took place on a bridge.
Yeah. There wasn't much going on in the first Deadpool movie. And maybe too much going on in the second one.
Not enough jokes, though.
I forget. Were you a fan of Deadpool 2?
No, I hated it.
Okay, I wasn't a fan.
So
yeah,
sorry, everyone.
Man,
I like Deadpool 1 though, so I don't know what it was.
And I'm a casual fan of Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
And then 2, I just thought was a bit like. After I saw 2, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with Disney buying Fox.
Well, there's a whole rumor that Disney's going to basically shut down Fox right now, which I don't think is going to happen because Bob Iger says it wasn't going to happen, and then whatever, we'll see. I'm not going to get speculatory over things I have no knowledge about.
I would be very surprised if Disney gutted Fox.
I mean,
that is a huge, crazy fucking thing to do.
I'm sure they're probably going to be like, no green. They're not going to greenlight any X-Men movies from now on.
Well, that already seems like it's happened.
Yeah, well,
I mean, New Mutants and X-Men Phoenix are both Dark Phoenix, yeah, are both just delayed indefinitely. I guess
is they announced it's doing 2.5 weeks of reshoots.
Oh,
for reasons I'm not sure exactly why. They said, well, the report was 3 months, and then they were like, no, just 2.5 weeks, just something kind of normal, not crazy. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't think Fox will be gutted because that's like gutting an entire channel and like gutting like a whole movie studio. That seems like it would be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see though. I mean, maybe it will be the case. I'm not going to predict anything.
No. Hey. So I've seen a couple movies I'd like to talk about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this summer has had an interesting tone, man.
So depressing.
Well,
just like those miserable songs.
Maybe depressing, but like I saw. Of course, I saw "Sorry to Bother You," and we already talked about that. And that was an awesome movie. But then just this last week, aside from Mission Impossible Fallout, I saw Blind Spotting. With David Diggs. That's
not The Blind Spot. That's different.
No, Blind Spotting is also about Oakland and about gentrification. And then actually just today I saw Black Klansman.
Oh, I was gonna go see that today, then I got too lazy. So.
You know what else happened today? My girlfriend and I both canceled MoviePass.
Oh, good for you.
And we both signed up for the AMC A-List.
We're a couple of shills. Look at us.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, AMC, thanks for giving us such great opportunities with your program.
Well, we need like a couple of what's that gag? We need a couple of Pepsis and a couple of Pizza Hut boxes right now.
Listen, the opening little splash they have before they go into the previews is kind of terrifying. Do you know what I'm talking about, right? At AMC theaters where it's like these people that just have these fucking like fixed smiles on their faces.
Yeah, there's that damn fucking asshole who like dumps popcorn over himself like an idiot.
Oh, right, yeah. But they just have these crazy like psychotic smiles and they're and it's like they're not allowed to blink or do it. I don't know. Anyways, but
which, if the world was like that, but like not because you were forced to, but everyone just generally was that happy, would that be a good place to live, or would it get really old really fast?
Well, that was the 90s.
No, it wasn't. The 90s were just full of like moody hair and fucking plaid.
Moody hair.
And everyone's all sad all the time. And if you're from like the West Coast,
So you got the colored hair, and you got the seashell necklaces, and you got the 311.
and Tony Hawk's doing
Third Eye
900s all over the
Blind.
place.
Third Eye Blind. 311. Hanson.
Hanson. I heard Mbop for the first time in like a decade
Oh.
a couple weeks ago. What the hell are those kids saying? I have no idea.
Oh, it's just
It's
gibberish.
I mean,
yeah.
like obviously Mbop doesn't mean anything.
It's
but like
scatting.
But their words are saying they're nonsense. It's nonsense.
scatting.
Just, it was like, oh, I didn't know this.
they made it a very popular scat song where they're speaking in baby language, and for whatever reason, kids just loved it. I didn't.
My brother was a big fan.
You know what I thought was funny with Hanson was when they first came out, there was a lot of people that thought that the middle brother was a girl.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of dudes that had a crush on
Man.
the middle sibling.
That's a Family Guy gag. I remember. Yeah.
It was great.
Actually, really quick aside.
Sure.
Speaking of weird crushes and stuff that doesn't make sense, it's uncomfortable. Did you see the picture release of Dora the Explorer
No.
for the live action movie they're making?
Oh, I didn't even know they're
It's weird, man.
making a live action movie.
It's. I'm gonna show you a picture right now. I mean, like, I wish we could pull it up. I wish we had a cool screen or something, but it is uncomfortable.
For anybody at home, we're literally watching ourselves on the screen right now.
Well, I mean,
and
like, we
it's-
got to make sure it's working.
I have a. Well, I'm not going to point out the flaws in my facial features, but it is
Hideous.
interesting seeing myself on camera right now because it's interesting. By the way, for anybody who hasn't noticed, this is my new place. Hey,
Why would anyone notice?
welcome.
No one's ever seen your old place.
Well, no, but for the fans, it's like I said last time or the time before, like, hey, I'm moving, and now I'm moved. So we're in the new
Yeah,
place,
anyways.
the new digs. That is almost a grown woman playing Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, it's like, that doesn't seem right.
That's like a 16-year-old dressed as a
it's like
5-year-old.
a 25-year-old dressed as like a
That-
5-year-old or whatever.
I don't know about 25, but
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sure she's 25.
Well, here's the thing. Dora the
don't wanna look it up.
Explorer, I don't want to sound nasty, but this is just me speaking technically, is Dora the Explorer is pre-pubescent. And whoever that actress is post-pubescent. And that's that's very odd.
Like I'm hoping they do like The Last Jedi, where she's like stuck on an island and she's all grizzled and like she's been there for like a decade or something, and they have to like dig her up and like she's got to go exploring again.
Right. And that's, well, no. She's like, hey, exploring has to end.
I'll explain to you what like. Or it's like, oh, what if it's like one of those? Because like, there's a thing. Like I've said, all of our favorite heroes are now all old and sad, right?
Right.
Like Christopher Robin, which we'll get to.
Oh, you saw that, right?
yeah,
yeah, that's right.
All your favorite childhood heroes are all old and sad now because there's no more stories to tell with them, so they just have to age them up 20 years and make them old and sad.
Yeah.
So Dora the Explorer is not old and sad. It's like stuff left to explore. All the corners of the map are filled in. I got no reason to live anymore. So she's just in the bottle somewhere in the mountains, like on top of a mountain, just drunk.
If you're gonna go that route, make her like 90. Make her like Yoda.
But then she gets a fun makeover, and then she's like, and then they go exploring, and she's got that monkey.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're gonna do that fox. There's a fox, right, who steals things.
Fox?
I don't know.
Oh,
it's a fox.
yeah. I don't know. I've never watched. That was way past my Nick Jr. days.
I know it through cultural osmosis mostly.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen an episode, maybe a couple clips, but it's just like things that like you pick up on.
Well, then there's Go Diego Go,
I was actually
who was the male equivalent.
I was talking to my girlfriend today because I was like, what is that show even about? Is it the same show but with a dude or what?
I think so, right?
Well, she said it was like about animals or something. It's like less about
Oh.
exploration, more about taking care of animals.
Interesting.
Audience, why don't you tell me? Surely some of you are younger than I am.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, go ahead and reach us. Leave some comments. Leave some comments on our YouTube. That'd be amazing.
Well,
Everybody, listen. Just to remind you, brand new channel, Filmtastic Voyage, the YouTube channel. This is gonna be the first video on it. Everybody celebrate. This is exciting.
I'm celebrating right now with some more whiskey.
There you go, Alex. So I saw Blind Spotting. Have you? So you haven't heard of that?
I think I've seen the name. I don't know what it's about or nothing.
Okay. It's about gentrification in Oakland.
And
Which
you're like,
is-
you're practically from Oakland. What do you think about that?
I lived in the burbs about 20 minutes away
Pretty
from
hardcore.
Oakland, yeah. And yes, holy shit, Oakland is a different city than it was when I was stomping around those grounds. Am I right?
Is it better, like nicer or less nice, or I don't know?
It's it's sort of like I don't know if it's nicer, but it's sort of like hipsters move in, they take over, they make Oakland about art and vegan food and all that, and
Echo Park.
yeah, it's like that. Sort of like how North Hollywood has turned into that, or like Highland Park.
Highland Park's like the new Echo Park, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's why I hear. At least that's what they say. Echo Park, has a place which is the hipsteriest hipster place I've ever been to. It was like a vegan dessert place, and it was like if you think of picture in your head what a hipster is, and you walk into it, and it's like this is like just a cliche. It's like a living, breathing cliche.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You guys are trying. Like you couldn't even try. You couldn't try to make it as hipster as this. It shocked me. I was shocked.
Yeah. And that happened not too long ago, right? I mean, that happened. I remember because we're talking about Echo Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that sort of. I remember people telling me that it was getting gentrified when I moved to LA, and that was back in 2014.
Yeah, same for me. Like 2012.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Well, it hops and skips
A lot of
around.
people I know are like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go to Echo Park because it's like the hip new place to be," and I'm like, "All right,
Right.
fine."
Yeah. And
Nothing
I
wrong
remember
with that,
someone
but-
telling me like, "Oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of San Francisco." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." No, it doesn't.
Depends on where in San Francisco, I suppose. So that's two major movies that take place in Oakland over the summer, I guess.
Yes, and it's pretty awesome. Like I would recommend anybody watching those because I mean, if you're interested in that subject material, I mean, obviously there's it's about gentrification, it's about racism, it's about a lot of things. And Sorry to Bother You, I think takes sort of an absurd look at it, and Blind Spotting takes kind of a more personal, realistic approach.
I don't think. Well, happy to bother you. I can never.
Happy to bother you.
God
Sorry to
damn it.
smoke you.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry to bother you. Is about gentrification. I don't think it tackles that subject. I think it tackles the other ones though.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, yeah. No, I agree. The only thing I would say about the gentrification angle is just the specifically how non-tech elements are getting pushed into these weird ass like bunk bed facility like work facilities, like they work and live in this place at the same time. Mm-hmm. But that's like an absurd sort of, I guess, not really tackling the issues specifically, but
yeah, it's more like
of like a side effect of it or something,
it's
right?
more like just sort of a comment on sort of like work life culture in the Americas,
right?
India,
Um,
or America, I guess.
And then I saw Black Klansman today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Gonna
know.
go see that tomorrow.
Okay, so then I probably shouldn't talk
You
about
best
it.
hush up.
Yeah. But yeah.
I saw a movie that takes place in Portland.
Which,
Briefly, a real good movie.
Who's that?
What, Portland?
I don't know which movie takes place in Portland.
So there's a movie that came out a while ago, which I kind of let slip by me. Unfortunately, I finally had a chance to see it again. It's got your favorite actor Ben Foster.
Oh.
And he's living in the woods, and it's called Leave No Trace.
Oh, okay.
And so it's Ben Foster, and he's living in the woods with his daughter, and like they get into all sorts of adventures. Sort of, it's kind of like Room, where it's like the movie starts one way, and then it kind of becomes about them trying to figure out life.
Uh-huh.
Like they start in a situation, and then the situation changes, and then they like figure out the new situation. It's kind of like about that, but it's like it's him and his daughter, and they're sort of like being stuff. It's a very nice little drama that's like pretty much like it's like I don't want to say perfect, obviously, but it's like there's not.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it needs to be. It's well done.
Is this a new movie?
Come on, like earlier in the summer.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So yeah, it's just like a real nice little indie drama.
I mean, hey, when I think indie drama, I think Ben Foster. He's great.
Where'd that guy come from? Ben Foster of Warcraft
X-Men 3.
fame. X-Men 3, that's the one. Of Warcraft fame.
Listen, when he saved his dad in X-Men 3, and that was the only thing
He jumped out of that
he did in
window.
the movie, that was the whole reason he was in the movie. I cried, man.
Uh-huh.
Really
Because you cried. That was how they used Archangel in a movie. And then
Not even Archangel, just Angel.
And then the Archangel shows up in Apocalypse, and you cried
Right.
again, and you wept. But there were no more Archangels to see on screen.
How dare they recast and re-origin Ben Foster's Angel?
They've recast and reorigined Psylocke and
That's true.
Jubilee and everyone.
Yeah, that's true. All in that movie. All in that X-Men Apocalypse movie. Jubilee.
And then that movie later, they did Caliban differently.
Right, yeah.
So don't even worry about it.
I had maybe you told me this. I had heard that it was basically two departments of Fox not communicating with each other about Caliban being in both those movies.
Yeah, I think James Mangold, who directed Logan, was talking about it, and he was like he was like they were writing and starting to make the movie, and they're like, "Oh, Caliban's your movie? Weird, Caliban's in our movie too." It's like,
whoa, fuck it.
Yeah, whatever. No one cares. Like I don't care. Like to be fair, no one cares. It's like the mantra of the X-Men continuity at this moment.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Well, how great of a character arc would that be if Caliban, being this swindler in the 80s, suddenly has this great, moral awakening by the time Logan takes
I mean,
place.
he's got a really long life, though. He's like,
Yeah.
aged like 40 years, but
He's aged really well. The only thing that filled out was like his cheeks or something.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the X-Men way, because like, what was it? Havoc had been like 20 years, like aged 2
oh, right.
or something like
yeah.
that in between those two X-Men
That was
movies.
super. They really shouldn't have done that. Just put like a beard on that actor and like put little like white marks in
I
his
just think it's funny
hair.
because he's like right out. He looks like he's from college. He's wearing like a Letterman jacket practically, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here. What am I supposed to be like 45? Oh, well, whatever. Who cares?" Again.
And then later in the movie, they have Quicksilver. They make a point of having Quicksilver be like, "Yeah, I've been like living with my mom for the last 10 years." I'm like, how are you guys not aging Havoc and aging Quicksilver and having this in the same movie?
But
it doesn't make any sense.
Quicksilver looks like he hasn't aged a day. He's like got the one ring.
Right. It's
ridiculous.
Oh my god.
I mean, like we complained about before, and to be fair, it doesn't matter. But like that movie's not great, anyways.
It's not. It's not great, and they should not make another one.
Well, they are. They're making 2.
But they are. Yeah, I know, but they shouldn't.
I don't know. They can make. There's no such thing. Like X-Men. Like it's like a whatever. You can make a good X-Men. Can make a bad X-Men. Ain't no guarantee for anything.
Yeah. I my vote is for a changing of the guard because I'll say this. Like I feel like the movies, sans Logan, because that was great, but like they've never really. Well, no. I guess this includes Logan too. And you've said this also. The X-Men movies have never felt exactly like an X-Men movie.
I haven't really read an X-Men comic though, so I don't know why I would have said that.
Well, okay, if we're talking the original trilogy, it's almost like they're embarrassed to be X-Men movies.
That's like a superhero, like a pre-Marvel
right
cinematic universe,
and that's why they
thing.
like dress them up in leather and all this weird stuff, right? And then you get into the offshoots like First Class, and it's like, dude, like this is not. I mean, it's a fun movie and everything, but what are we doing right now? Like this barely has any likeness to the source material. It'd be like if you made Moby Dick, but you made Moby Dick a bear instead of a.
I'd watch Moby Bear
instead. And that's
That'd
great.
be kind of cool, actually. You should greenlight that movie. It's a white bear. Ooh.
But you call the movie Moby Dick, and it's like we're watching this guy hunt a bear. Like that's. For me, I feel that's how the X-Men movies are. It's sort of like, well, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Like,
it's kind of like how Frankenstein the book and Frankenstein the movie, the '30s one, are like nothing at all alike.
Totally, yeah.
It's like, can you imagine being like a hardcore fan of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the modern day Prometheus, or whatever the subtitle of that book is, and being like, oh man, it's 1930, whatever. I'm gonna go to my favorite Nickelodeon and see Mary Shelley's Frankenstein on the big screen, and then like it's like a completely different kind of movie.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
If the internet existed back then, do you think people would have been like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people did. I'm sure there was hardcore fans back then that were really bummed out about that. And you read the book, and that would have been an awkward... Like, if we're talking about a movie made... Because it was made in the 1930s. Mm-hmm. I mean, the subject material of the book is a bit too harsh, I think, to Like, he fucking, like, squashes kids to death and, like, kills dogs and, like, I don't know. It's just...
It would be a great modern-day remake, though. That movie, you could make a real nice, classy gothic horror movie with if you did a Frankenstein, just straight up Frankenstein.
I mean, they already made the sequel.
Wait, I, Frankenstein or Bride of Frankenstein? Which one are we talking
I,
about?
Frankenstein, it takes place literally right after the book ends.
Yeah, it does.
And,
And he
damn,
fights
is
a bunch
it
of
bad.
angels and
And it
Bill
has
Nye.
Jai Courtney in it.
That's the guy.
Boy,
Man,
what happened to Jai Courtney?
Is he post-Suicide Squad? Has he not done anything? Or is it?
He was in an episode of Curb last year. But no, he just fell off the face of the earth. Predictably, I would say predictably.
Do you think it's like a Sam Worthington thing? Like, I don't want to comment on their acting ability, but like just historically, Sam Worthington was hot shit. Was in like a bunch of huge movies, and then was nary seen again for quite some time. So it could be a similar situation where
They both got terminated. That
could be.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I do. It's pretty obvious what you're saying.
They both were in Terminator movies, and that was just like a silver bullet to their careers. Am I wrong?
That's a good coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam Worthington was in Heartbreak Ridge, which was a movie and perfectly acceptable
Heartbreak
movie. The
Ridge.
Mel Gibson war movie with Andrew Garfield saving folks.
Oh.
He was kind of a character in that.
Oh, yeah. I never saw that.
It's a little goofy, I thought.
Yeah, I remember you saw it and you were like, not wowed.
It's like, okay. It's like a little over the top. It's like, yeah, it's just a little silly. Good performances, though, you know.
Yeah.
Good makeup. What was I saying? Sam Worthington, yeah. Are you excited about Terminator 6?
No.
The one they're making?
Not at all.
Sort of picture of Linda Hamilton.
Not 1 ounce.
And Mackenzie Davis looking tough.
I mean, yes, I think it's great that they're using what's her face?
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton, I'm sorry. I think it's great that she's in it. She looks good. James Cameron's producing it?
Yeah, it's like his first actual involvement since Terminator 2, I think.
Okay. What is... I guess I don't get... Because the last movie, they made sure that they had his blessing or something, right?
They do every time, but like, I sure he couldn't give less of a shit. I think after Terminator 2, it was like, I'm done.
Yeah, well, and then that's what I kind of think this new movie is going to be. He's not going to be making any... He's not going to be calling any shots.
I heard a rumor that he's making, like, this is going to be the last Terminator or something. Like, he's
Bullshit.
I don't know. Terminator 2 ended the story. I still understand why it's still there. I get why it's a thing, because, like, there's a cool universe there and all that stuff. But, like, I think I mentioned before, no one does Terminator, right? Because they keep just trying to make Terminator 2 again. There's so much more you could do with the Terminator thing, you know?
Yes.
Like, with the time travel and all the weird shit. Like, Terminator into the future, like, the far future. I don't know. Well, I don't know if that works that way. I don't know. Go to the past. Go to, like, the West. I don't know, the Wild West. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Do something. Don't just do Terminator 2.
It's just missed opportunity. I think they've had some trouble deciding, I guess, what they feel makes a Terminator movie work, because they keep doing these kind of weird, dumb decisions based on that. Like, oh God, we got to have Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. It's like, well, no,
like, yeah, like
you don't.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing like Arnold Schwarzenegger is great, obviously.
And they're
like he's not the juice that makes the Terminator franchise tick necessarily.
You just need someone that can fill his shoes. You don't need Arnold Schwarzenegger, especially 70-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger. You don't need that.
I mean, Terminator Salvation kind of got it okay because it was like, oh no, it's a T-800 and it's like, you know, CG Arnold Schwarzenegger walking around.
Yeah.
Which is like whatever, but like that movie had a host of other issues.
It did, and honestly, I would have loved if they continued on with that timeline, but if they had just made a better movie. I think that's much more interesting, is just hopping forward and going to the war and having it be that. But
the thing that Terminator movies have never solved is, so does this war end eventually? Like, do humans win? Because like they always prevent John Connor from being assassinated, but they never actually win the fucking war.
Right,
Which would be nice to see. It'd be nice if that was like, maybe this new one will be like, we did it, we win.
Yeah. Again, I have such low expectations. I get the impression that James Cameron's attached to it so he can make money and not have to do any actual work. I'm just assuming because he's 4 movies deep into something he actually cares about. I don't think he's going to be around to make any decisions.
He probably his assistant probably gave him like the spark notes of the script, and he's like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Sure. And then now they can just advertise it as being James Cameron produced, and then everybody can be like, "Oh, thank God!" And then they'll go see it, and then he'll make money, and then Fox, Disney, will make money, and then that's it.
The real question is, how is the trailer going to spoil this one?
Oh,
Because the Terminator franchise has notoriously spoilerific trailers. 2, Salvation, and Genesis have all spoiled their big twists in their trailers.
now in the trailer, did they say that Sam Worthington is a robot?
Yeah, so in Terminator 2, they were like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's a good guy, oopsie. And in Terminator Salvation, they're like, Sam Worthington's a robot, what do you know? And in Terminator 5, it's, John Connor's a robot now, what?
Yeah. I didn't make as you know, I didn't make it through 5.
5 I watched simply because I saw that trailer. And it's like, John Connor's a robot. I'm like, I guess that seems interesting. Because otherwise I was probably not going to see it.
Is that clever? I guess I'll find out.
Yeah, it's like, at least that's new and different.
Yeah.
Because like before that, the trailer was like, hey, you like Terminator 1, but how about Terminator 1 again?
Right. Yeah. Jesus. I don't know. Just end it. Or just like do something crazy. Do like I've always wanted to see a Terminator versus RoboCop. I would watch that movie.
It doesn't have to be. It can be like a RoboCop ripoff. It can be like Robo Police.
No. I'm saying RoboCop.
I mean, like if you can't secure the rights, it's Terminator versus like.
Well, sure. If you can't secure the rights, then sure. But
Well, then the
I'm
Predator
saying
shows
just
up halfway
just
through
go
and-
through. Just go for it though. RoboCop versus Terminator. Let's do this. They're both robots. One's an assassin. One's a cop. Let's let's just get stupid. Yeah. Okay, I mean, with Terminator, I guess let's say you're the head honcho, you're the shot caller.
I'm calling them shots.
You have to make a movie.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger as a robot gets accidentally sent back to 1955, and then he has to ward off his mother's advances while trying to get him and her dad together at the school dance.
Yeah. And then he invents rock and roll.
And he invents rock and roll. What do you know about that?
Oh man.
No, I'd like something's malfunctioned, and it's like a Terminator gets sent back to the Wild West, and a bunch of Western gunslingers got to fight a Terminator. Wouldn't that be fun? It's just like, oops.
Terminator through time.
It's just, it's like that time Batman went through time, except for Terminator.
And that's the thing is maybe he's chasing someone through time.
Well, I guess in Terminator 5, they figure out that you can go forward in time.
In which movie?
In Terminator 5, they invented a machine.
That you can go forward in time?
Yeah, so they should go to the super future and fight all the aliens.
Right. Or they just go to the future. Okay, so this is what happens. So the robots, they kill all the humans, and then they evolve into their own society, and then it just becomes like, they're just like, they work their way out of the Dark Ages. Now you got like these skeleton robot, those weird looking guys. They got like families, they got jobs. It's just a normal functioning society now. And then someone at a company called Skynet develops organic technology.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden, a human from their future comes back to their time to kill... wait, hold on. How does it work in the first one? Oh, yeah. So a robot comes back first from their future, and then a human follows that robot back, and then they have a tussle, right?
So here's the thing. So here's my pitch.
Yeah.
So it's like, it looks like modern day. And it's like, you got like a cop or some kind of low-level official type.
Right.
And he's just doing his beat or whatever. And the guy comes in the future, and the guy's like, you're a fucking robot. And then the main character's like, what? Turns out the robots won the war, and everybody's Terminators.
Exactly.
And so
That's
then
what
it's
I
like,
mean.
whoa, but he like realizes the system's corrupt, man. He's got to pull the plug on all these evil robots who are pulling
Who
the
has to do
strings.
that?
Like the human
Oh, the
and
human
his
from
newly
the
found
future.
robot friend have to go to like, it's basically, then it becomes essentially they live at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just say flip it around.
that would be an awful movie. And I don't think it'd turn out very good.
it would be awful, but it would still be better than I'm sure what we'll get.
I don't
Which
think,
is an unambitious sequel.
maybe, I don't know. I think speaking of Deadpool, director of Deadpool's doing Terminator 6. Terminator 6,
Right.
all the potential will be good.
Right. Hey, when I think Terminator, I think get that Deadpool director in there. What else has the Deadpool director done?
I think he invented Blur Studios. I think he was the head of that. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So lots of good shit.
That's
on
true.
a very small
Yeah.
scale.
Actually, yes. Then good for him.
Blur does good work. Damn.
So now that the summer season is coming to an end,
Got the
Alex,
Dog Days of Summer movie officially happening.
You know, these dog days are turning into cat
You see
days.
that trailer?
Oh, dog days?
It's the Dog Days of Summer, and they're dogs, and they're doing dog stuff. Look at these dogs.
I saw a billboard for it, but I didn't see.
I watched the trailer. It looks like schmaltzy dog stuff. It's like, whatever.
Right.
We love dogs.
Yeah.
We love dogs.
I mean, now that the dog days of summer are coming to an end, what do you think of the summer season?
It's not over yet.
No?
Nah, it's not end of August, man.
Well, I mean, what else? What left is coming out? What's that big hitter? What's a big heavy hitter? I can't.
I gotta see
The
Black-
Meg. I need to see the Meg.
That's today. It came out.
Yeah.
I gotta see Black Klansman 8th grade.
Oh yeah,
That's
8th
coming
grade. I
out.
heard is very good.
Yeah. It's like one more thing. Oh, Crazy Rich Asians. Gotta see that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I'm seeing that next week. We already have tickets for it.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Fancy.
I know. Hey,
you
you
go
wanna
see it in like D-Box or like, IMAX or something?
something like that? Yeah. I was gonna actually ask you. We had this idea. My girlfriend and I. We're gonna ask the two of you. I'm gonna ask you on air. Do you want to see the Meg
When?
together? I don't know. We don't have to decide now. I just
Maybe.
felt like asking you that on air.
Fun fact about me, I have kind of sort of that phobia where I fear deep open water, so
Even if it's on screen.
it gets me a little uncomfortable. I'll see the Meg. It's just like...
You saw Jaws, right?
Oh, yeah, but Jaws is different.
Uh,
Because, I don't know, kind of sort of
Alright.
have that thing. Like not.
What about The Abyss? Did you like The Abyss?
It's different, though, because you're on the ocean floor. Like, when you're in the ocean and you can't see anything, it's like mist around you.
Oh.
It makes you kind of uncomfortable. And then there's a big monster in it. Forget it.
There are big monsters, yes.
I mean, I guess I'd go see it, but I heard it's like not as fun as it seems, according to the reviews I've read.
Liz, it's probably not going to be a great movie, but I mean, Jason Statham versus a giant shark.
I took a fun quiz on the internet the other day, which was Jason Statham with a gun. What movie is this from? I got 1 out of 10.
Wow.
I couldn't figure the fuck out. Like forgot how many goddamn movies he's been in.
He's been
He's been like one or two movies a year with very weird, like kind of forgettable generic names since like 2000.
Doesn't he just seem like he's probably like the coolest dude to hang out with? Like, I get the feeling he's probably just like the coolest dude.
Probably. I mean, like he was also a fun fact about him. If you don't know, he was an Olympic diver.
I did not know
You ever
that.
see those clips of him diving in the Olympics?
That
I think it was
explains his
Olympics.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for some reason became an action star. I guess it was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That
Right.
Propelled him to that category.
God.
Not Bricks. Snatch is really good.
Snatch. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale.
I mean, he's
that
been
was
like a lot of good movies.
Yeah, not that. Not In the Name of the King.
You know, it's a good movie that he's in Spy. He does a great job in Spy.
Someone just brought that up to me the other day. I have not seen that movie.
Oh, he's really funny in Spy. I
Yeah.
think he improvs, but he makes up a lot of ridiculous circumstances for himself. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I feel like maybe my parents were watching that and I was just doing something in the background you I don't know. I feel like I've seen some of that movie, but I don't quite remember.
My parents just called me and tell me how good Game Night was, which is like, well, you and I, we saw Game Night together. We did.
Yes.
That was a
and
funny ass movie.
That was a good movie. And wasn't that the time I got really sick or something?
It was like afterwards, I think.
Yeah. That was, I don't know what happened, but I remember we saw that movie and then afterwards I just, I was like going to pass out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good movie.
Because all the drugs.
All the drugs. All these Hollywood drugs.
Well, now you're in Burbank. Safe and clean.
Burbank doesn't have drugs. It has health food crackers.
Parking enforcers.
Parking enforcers.
I don't know.
It's, I gotta say, man, it's really cool. I've really enjoyed living here so far. It's been pretty nice.
Good 2-week review.
Yeah.
You hear that, City of Burbank? Kick us some of that sweet taxes
Burbank
this
money,
way.
yeah, tax money.
Sweet Burbank tax money. Kick it this way.
Burbank the podcast, sponsored by Burbank.
You think some towns must have their own town-centric podcasts?
No.
Just talking about like the issues, like politics and stuff.
You know,
And, like what crazy old Mrs. So-and-so did with her cats this week and all that stuff.
I mean, I'm sure there's not a rule against it, right? I'm sure it exists. I think it would be funny if every town had that.
No, but I'm sure.
I think it'd be great if on someone's payroll, on every city hall's payroll, they had a podcast.
The official town podcast.
And it's like a mandatory thing.
It's like, you know how towns used to have the guy with the bell? They go, hear ye. That's except nowadays it's just a town podcaster.
So you could just have a federal job or a city job doing the podcast for your city. How great would that be, Alex?
Pretty swell.
But then you'd have some, of course, I think quality control would be kind of bad for that kind of thing, and then you'd have a lot of bad hosts.
Well, for a town like Burbank, I think you could have like a pretty cool podcast if you just like interviewed locals every week. Because like this town has got like 250, 400,000. I don't know how many, like between those two numbers, people.
Right.
A lot of them are interesting.
So you would have guests on.
Probably.
Okay.
Like you'd probably be like, have a little segment talking about what's important in the community. Like this vote's coming up, better vote.
Right.
Like,
so we just we have the general manager from from the new city Target. He's come on the podcast to
it'd be interesting.
Talk to us about Target.
I mean, like it'd be interesting to hear about what the manager of the new city Target's even like. Wouldn't you want to hear?
I don't know if I'd be interested in that.
Well, neither would I. I wouldn't listen to it, but at least it's out there.
I mean, I think some people would be though. Yeah, I think some town folk would be.
Talk about or you get the manager of like Porto's or one of the local institutions. You get Bob's Big Boy himself.
Yeah. Talk
but
about
Toluca Lake though. We forgot. We didn't.
What's that?
Never mind.
Oh, it's in Toluca Lake.
No, I forgot. We didn't answer that question. You posed. You remember a few weeks ago? You were like, "Is that Toluca Lake or not?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know."
Doesn't it seem like it would be a Burbank property though? It almost like I don't feel like Toluca Lake would have a Bob's Big Boy. That seems like such a Burbank's thing.
Bob's Big Boy.
But I don't know. Hey, everybody, why don't you write in and tell us how wrong we are?
You just look it up. It's pretty easy to figure out where Bob's Big Boy is. Fine, I'll look it up right the fuck now. Here,
Yeah.
we're doing it right now.
We're doing this right now.
And afterwards, we'll go get some chili fries.
In the meantime, let's see. What can I say? Hey, for the folks at home, I started watching Glow Season 2. Pretty good. Actually, so far,
Burbank.
A little bit better than Season 1.
It's a Burbank.
It is a Burbank property. All right.
Really? Better?
Yeah. I'd say so. And then I watched maybe 10 minutes of the new season of Orange is the New Black, and I'm already not into it. It's they have jumped the shark hardcore.
How so?
I mean, you're not going to watch it, right?
Yeah.
So the first couple seasons are about this main character, Piper, which nobody likes, including myself. But it was about her experience going to prison.
Lady prison.
And it was about the politics and the groups and how things work in this prison and how shitty prison is. Now, fast forward to season 5, and it's literally the prisoners take over the prison. And then and then it's like Batman No Man's Land, where they start making their own rules and they start like doing their own like politics and stuff.
Why don't they just escape?
I think maybe because there's SWAT outside or something. I don't know, but I forget. But it basically turns into this thing where it's like, yeah, now we own the prison and like this is happening, that's happening, blah, blah, blah. And then, so that whole thing ends at the end of season 5. And then now we open to season 6 and one of the prisoners is crazy. Not crazy, I don't know, but there is something wrong with her and like really good actress and one of the best characters, but we're spending like maybe what it seemed like 20 minutes in just her brain seeing these things that are supposed to be weird. But it really does feel like we're just wasting time on this. And I'm just sitting there going like, come on, like let's get to the next thing, please. But we'll see. I mean, obviously I'll try to finish out the season, have a better assessment. But for now, that's yeah.
My girlfriend's been watching through that show Steven Universe,
Oh yeah,
and so I've been watching a couple episodes here and there. It's a cute show. That's all
It
I have to
is.
say about it, really.
yeah. I watched the first 60 episodes of that.
Wow.
There's a ton. There is a ton of
So
episodes.
that's the first season.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here it gets better as it goes on. I think it probably does, based on what I've seen.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's great.
I watched the pilot and be like, "That's cute,"
Yeah.
but now I've watched more. It's cute. It's good.
Yeah.
I can see why people like it. Obviously.
Yes, and I think I don't know if this is bringing up trash talk or whatever, but for people that complain about it, maybe don't.
Who's complaining about it?
It's a great show.
I thought people love that show. Or they complain about like it because it has because all kids TV shows look the same or whatever.
That kind of thing.
people are
yeah,
talking about these days.
That kind of thing. Yeah. But
the show's not even for you, guy. What are
right.
you even talking about? Anyway, so I watched a movie about childhood and growing up.
Really?
It's Christopher Robin.
Oh, the Christopher
Christopher Robin.
And how was Christopher Robin?
I thought the first half was quite magical in a sense. It was like, I don't know. I found the whole movie as a whole was very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I give it 3 stars out of 4.
Yeah.
I never a dull moment for me.
Yeah.
I thought the first half was actually really interesting because that was like the depressing half, but it was kind of like about growing up and childhood lost and like trying to sort of be an adult, but you got these memories and all that stuff. And I kind of found it not like moving necessarily, but I found it kind of poetic and kind of interesting and sad at a couple of points. And Winnie the Pooh's like, "Oh, you let me down, Christopher Robin," but not like in the Winnie the Pooh way that he does it, where he's like not directly saying it that way.
I would laugh my ass off if he was saying that. You let me down. You let me down, Christopher Robin. Anyways.
No, and the second half is more kind of like wacky, crazy. Winnie the Pooh's dumb friends are having hijinks in London.
Oh.
Like dumb, I mean like they're like actually dumb.
So they go into the real world.
Well, I like the movie isn't pulled no punches in that like Winnie the Pooh is just real. He's just real. He's not a figment of no one's imagination. He just is. He just exists, which I appreciate. But they didn't do the whole. Is he real? Is he just a figment of his mind? He's like, oh, Winnie the Pooh shows up and everyone can hear him talk and everyone can see him move. He's real.
Right. Yeah.
Which I like. And then like Tigger and like and the rest of them, some of them get like wrapped in this whole adventure. And Pooh's there too, but not as involved. And then like it ends really silly in like the most cartoonish cliche kind of way you can possibly imagine. So like imagine here's a scenario. Christopher Robin's an adult. He's got a boring job, and he's got to fix the job by this deadline. But then like Pooh invades his life, and he's got to deal with both of these things now. Now imagine how that situation ends. It ends that way.
Just Pooh helps him save the day, and he saves his job, and then he's friends with Pooh.
Yep. I mean, like it's more cliche than that, where it's one of those things where like Pooh helps him get like some off the wall idea, which he like pitches to the boss, and the boss is like, "That's stupid," but then the boss's boss is like, "Up, I'm a character now too, and that's actually a good idea." And you,
whoa, that's a fantastic
initial
idea.
boss, you're in some real hot soup this time, and like it's like, come on,
Yeah.
we've seen 100 times. It's fine. It's just a little hokey, and like I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it, but like it's not really what happens; it's how it happens that's important. And I really enjoyed like I said, the first half of the movie was, I thought, just surprisingly really great, and then the second half was just kind of Paddington but less good.
Right.
Would recommend though. I would say I had a good time. Would definitely recommend it if you just need to get out of the heat and see a fun, cutesy movie.
Isn't Agent Carter in that movie?
Yeah,
as the wife?
Barely as a character, unfortunately.
Okay.
Barely a character. It sucks.
See, bad. I was looking forward to that actress doing a lot more. I thought she was gonna actually kind of.
She was doing a lot of television. She was on that show Conviction that got canceled.
Oh, she was on Agent Carter that got canceled.
She was in she'll be around.
Yeah.
She can show up in flashbacks in Ant-Man 3 or whatever.
Right. That was her in Captain America 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
They just put
Just
makeup
2.
on her? Oh yeah, that's right. She
The
wasn't
3,
in
she was
3.
inside a coffin.
Right, they put her in the coffin.
She showed up
3.
on set for that day just to be in the coffin.
They're like, yeah, we didn't really tell you what your role is yet, but
It's like, excuse me, Rousseau brothers. I've noticed I don't have any on this page of the script. I don't have any lines. And then the next page, I don't have any lines.
it's because you're dead.
So
Go
they-
ahead, step into this coffin.
Anyways, I'm still shocked at her makeup in Captain America Part 2.
That's pretty great.
It's CG.
Oh,
We watched the behind the scenes. She's just normal her face with a bunch of dots on it, and she's
Wow.
wearing computer face. And I never noticed until someone told me that.
it was done fantastically. Yeah. Oh, hey, guess what Marvel Comics just did? They just relaunched Fantastic Four and put a bunch of Fantastic Four arcs into other people's comics.
It's like, what do you mean? How do you insert an arc in the middle of someone else's comic?
They just have the Fantastic Four being guest starred in these other people's comics.
Were they comic wise in the lore? Were they missing or something? Were they
No.
We went on vacation. Now we're back.
No, it was for a while. It was the Thing was on the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it was there was a comic of the Thing and the Human Torch just palling around.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Reed Richards and Susan Richards were just off being
Do they have
Being
children
a
in this
couple.
continuity?
in Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Because I don't know if it's the reboot or the Ultimate Universe. One of them's evil. I don't know who's what anymore.
the alternate universe doesn't exist anymore.
If they brought them into the MCU, do you think they'd bring the kids with them?
Not yet. I doubt it. I would love to have an aged Fantastic Four. Honestly, I don't need to see an origin story for them. I don't need to. I would love to just have hey, here's a seasoned Fantastic Four. We don't need to.
I think
here and-
those 2 guys should be married already, and that's all you need.
Well, you know what you do? You know what'd be interesting is if this is just me spitballing. What if it was hey, the Fantastic Four, they went out into space back in whatever, the late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
They don't come back until now.
I was just thinking that they got frozen something, but they have that 60s aesthetic still.
Right, but they're the same age from the 60s, but they've just magically come back now and they're like, "Oh shit, this is like Austin Powers."
Yeah, now that Captain America's all acclimated to normal times, then you get these wacky 60s people, and it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
again, the whole thing again, but funny.
And since Chris Evans won't be around, you get Bucky Barnes, or rather Sebastian Stan, to be like, "Hey, I know what it's like to be a man at a time."
It's a good impression of him.
It is, isn't it though? Yeah, Fantastic Four. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what it's like. I'm Bucky Barnes.
I'd like to see if I like Sebastian Stan a lot. It'd be funny for his character though, and okay, White Wolf, whatever you go by nowadays, we're gonna put you in a lab and we're gonna inject you full of all this charisma juice,
and
then we'll see what happens.
And then he just turns
It
into
becomes
a cartoon
it's
character.
like a super soldier serum, but it's just for charisma,
Yeah.
just so we can lead his own Captain America movie or whatever.
You know what bums me out is they got rid of his grill.
What?
That grill.
Like his face mask?
Yeah, because that made him look so fucking cool.
It was one movie though.
It was just in that one movie. I know they should have I don't know whatever reason to keep that for, but I wish they would have kept that because it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it'd be cool for the battlefield in Infinity War, he put it on just
Yeah,
for battle.
the Battle of Naboo in Infinity War.
Yeah, whatever's going on there.
Yeah,
All those space dogs.
they're killing themselves.
Well,
Yeah,
gets the job done.
God, I hope that movie comes out on Blu-ray soon.
It's on digital right now, so it's
Oh,
Blu-ray
okay.
in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, I'll watch the shit out of that movie.
We still have to get Black Panther.
Oh man.
Um,
Speaking of gangbusters, Black Panther.
just crossed 700 million.
Really?
Squeaked by it.
Domestically, of course,
Mhm.
because it's already passed 1 billion, isn't it?
One of a few movies to do so.
Right. Yeah. Worldwide, I
One
mean,
of 3 movies to pass 700 domestically, which is that,
Wow.
The Force Awakens, and I'm gonna assume
Not Infinity War.
Titanic or Avatar or something.
So Infinity War made less domestically.
Infinity War at the moment is at 675 at the moment, but it probably won't.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me check the box office motos, see what the other third movie is. But yeah, so that's it was like at $6.99 for weeks, and I was like, come on, that sucks. $6.99, you gotta be kidding me.
Is this just box office sales?
Yeah, just in domestic box office, gross.
How does it? Okay, so how does it pass? Is it just like in second run theaters? Or I'm confused.
Probably.
Okay.
Avatar is the second.
Oh, okay.
So Force Awakens with $936 million of domestic.
Wow.
Avatar was 760, and Black Panther was 700.
Wow.
And then Avengers is fourth with 768. And then Titanic and Jurassic World, the regular Avengers, Last Jedi, et cetera, et cetera, et
Holy
cetera.
shit! So Infinity War is not even on. Oh no! But you mean Avengers: Infinity War? Is oh okay, gotcha.
It's number 4.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
yeah, so Marvel currently has the 3rd and 4th best domestic movies of all time.
Jesus.
Under the belt, and Disney owns all 4 of the top ones. Oh, let me see. Disney owns currently, after the Fox thing, owns. Close the page.
Now,
Owns, so they own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the top 10 highest grossing domestic films of all time.
Now, okay, you know what I find interesting? Because I know what side of the coin you're on with this, but I keep coming back to this, and that is why, like, I feel like movies should be adjusted to inflation when it comes to how much they gross. And I know there's a lot of people on the other side of that where they're like, no, that shouldn't count. It should just be how much the money is.
Mm-hmm.
But I sort of feel like if you adjust it to, if you adjust it to inflation, like, I'm fairly certain it's a different list of movies, isn't it? Like, isn't Gone with the Wind on there?
Yeah,
and like,
it probably won't ever be off there.
Right. But I mean, okay, so like, what is the validity though in that? Like, I'm just curious, or the invalidity, I suppose.
About what? Who?
I guess what I mean is, like, why should we be like, oh, hey, Force Awakens is the top grossing of all time, when in fact, if you adjust it to inflation, it's not.
It's number 11.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I don't care about the inflation thing, because it's also tricky, because like, a lot of the top grossing movies in that list are also been re-released like half a dozen times in their run.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like hard to say what has a bigger impact than what. So
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I think so I don't know. So yeah, Gone with the Wind still number 1. Probably will be forever.
Wow.
Because if it was released today, it would have made $1.8 billion domestic. So
Holy shit. What now? Let me ask you something.
in addition to his various re-releases, as I said.
Gone with the Wind. At the time, what did it do?
Oh, I don't know.
I guess what I mean, culturally speaking, like, what was the impact of that movie?
Well, it was based on a book that people were like clamoring to see on screen, anyways, and I think it executed on those ideas really well. People were, like, it was like a big to do when they were making the book.
Oh, okay.
And then so I think it was just like a well executed version of a movie everyone wanted to see, and so it just both those things together made it a big hit.
Right. Okay. Because for me, I didn't really enjoy it when I watched it. It wasn't bad filmmaking, but I just suppose I was like, well, all right.
It's kind of like, sort of similar to how when Return of the King was the easiest example because it won 11 Academy Awards and nominated for Best Picture and all that stuff. Or won Best Picture, and so that was like a book. It was the thing everyone wanted and was executed excellently, and so everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And so I made $1 bazillion.
Right?
Yeah. You see those movies multiple times, and I think it was the culture back then was also different, where going to the movies was like a big deal. And it's like what you would do, and you just do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So, but nowadays it's more of a selective thing. It's a lot more unusual to sort of see movies more than once.
You're competing with a lot more media nowadays than you were then.
People back then would just go to the movies on a weekend. And the next week they just go to the movies and just see what's out,
Right. And that's the thing. That was before VHS even. That was before
VHS,
TV.
Yeah. So if you wanted to see it, you had to see it. And like in the 60s, they'll re-release it again. And you got to see it again. Otherwise, you're never going to see it.
Totally. Even up until the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Like when we were watching this thing about the toys that make us. As a Netflix thing. Just talking about toys. And they're talking about, okay, so with movies, with toy tie-ins, like you need to make sure that you're getting these toys out before the movie leaves theaters, because then it just disappears, basically. And they were talking about Star Wars. They're saying like, well, okay, Star Wars is going to be in theaters for however long, and then it just disappears, and then it's gone forever, basically. So it's like any merchandise you have to do, like you have to do it, while the iron is hot. Whereas nowadays, that ticking clock is like not a thing.
Didn't Star Wars sort of change the game merchandise-wise by like kind of like inventing new things for merchandise? And also, well, Star Wars released Star Wars like two or three times before Empire Strikes Back even came out.
Oh, they re-released it 2 or 3 times?
Like around in the 80s. Like there was like, I think there was probably like a 1 or 2 re-releases before Empire Strikes Back, and after Empire Strikes Back, I think there were double features. Like in the 1982 re-release of Star Wars, it was when they added Episode 4 and Episode 5 to the titles officially for Return of the Jedi, which is the first Star Wars to have Episode 6.
I didn't know that they were re-releasing those movies.
Yeah, they just did, and that's what they did back then. They were like, there was a thing, famously, and like even like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, there was like, hey, Pinocchio's back in theaters. You want to go see Pinocchio? Like they would just do that.
Yeah. Well, nowadays there's certain theaters that do that.
Well, there's certain
there's
theaters
like
that
Throwback
do that,
Thursdays and stuff.
Alamo Draft House type theaters and
New
Beverly type theaters, and then also you have some places do like the whole vault thing, like the Disney vault, where it's like this is going on Blu-ray, but only for a bit.
Well, the Disney vault. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Everybody's favorite.
I don't mind it.
We're taking it out of the vault. Oh, you snooze, you lose. Fuck you. It's back in the vault.
I don't mind that because whatever. I buy everything. So. That's what Jiminy Cricket says.
Yeah. Lamley right now is showing Bond films. They have a whole month full of Bond films.
Oh, you should go to those. Too bad you don't live near the Lamley anymore.
Well, there's one in Glendale that's like right up the freeway there.
What Bond films are they showing? I mean, I just watched Skyfall the other day. That movie's fucking kick ass.
You might be bummed out, but they're okay. So they're showing a Sean Connery movie. I forget which one it is.
So there's like a 1 in 7 chance that I get it right.
The only George Lazenby movie.
That's to make sense.
One Roger Moore movie.
They're probably showing like From Russia with Love or Goldfinger if they're going to do just one more or just one Connery movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably one of those because those are the best ones. If they want to just do like picking best of the best. For Roger Moore, it's probably The Spy Who Loved Me.
That's that one.
They're just doing best of the best.
And then they have a Timothy Dalton one.
Is it
probably
Living
licensed?
Daylights? For some reason, people like Living Daylights more than License to Kill. I'm the opposite, but
I could have sworn it was Licensed to Kill.
It might be Licensed to Kill. It probably is then. I like License to Kill a lot.
And then the last one they're showing, of course,
Skyfall.
Nope.
It's GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Well,
no Daniel Craig ones. Too recent, I guess. Right.
Well, that's a great little swath they got over there. Except for On Your Majesty's Secret Service is kind of lowest on that list.
We're planning to see at least GoldenEye in theaters.
You've seen GoldenEye before though?
I have GoldenEye, but I haven't seen it in theaters.
Dun, dun.
Could you haven't seen that in theaters, have you?
No.
You should go. We should go.
I guess.
Hey, to our listeners, giving our information away. No.
We'll see. I mean, like I've been rewatching a lot of Bond, so don't want to be too bonded out.
Yeah.
Almost done with my spur of the moment kind of series rewatch.
Oh, the
whole series.
James
basically,
Bond?
Yeah, I have like 5.
You've seen all of them, or you've seen most of them by this point?
I mean, I've seen all of them multiple times.
Well, yeah, but
it's like for some reason, like occasionally I'll be like, I haven't seen a James Bond in a while, and then I'll like next week I'll be like, let's watch another James Bond.
Yeah.
And so, because my girlfriend hasn't seen most of them, so I'm kind of just going through them at this point.
Right.
And
are you going in order?
No, it's just kind of whatever. So right now the problem is we've kind of gotten rid of most of the good ones.
Oh,
so like all we have now is Thunderball and The Living Daylights and Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough and Spectre.
Wow.
So it's like not a great selection.
Spectre's not so bad.
No, it's the best of the bunch, but still, it's like not a great selection.
Well, hey, have fun with that.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're perfectly fine. Tomorrow Never Dies, fun fact, that was the first Bond movie I ever saw.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
It's the one where James Bond's in China with the broadcaster dude.
I honestly think the first one I saw was probably The World Is Not Enough. And I saw it in theaters.
I rented The first one I saw in theaters was Die Another Day. Pity me. I rented Tomorrow Never Dies first because I was like after GoldenEye, and it was around the time The World Was Not Enough. The N64 game was coming out,
Right.
And I was like, I love GoldenEye. I might as well watch these James Bond movies, and that was the first one I rented.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I didn't rent.
Okay. Yes. So GoldenEye was the first one I saw in general.
It's a good one,
but it was a home watch, of course, and then World Is Not Enough is I saw that in theaters. Yeah.
I was lucky that my parents for Christmas bought me Casino Royale, sorry. Goldfinger and the From Russia with Love on VHS, just VHSs of them. And I would just watch them over and over and over again, just those two.
Oh, wow.
And I would go to. We also had this ridiculous deal. I don't know if I've ever told this in the air before. We had this ridiculous deal with now defunct Hollywood Video, thanks to us, where they gave us free movie rentals, unlimited movie rentals for a whole year, just as many movies as we wanted, whenever we wanted.
Wow.
And so we go every Friday and just get stacks of movies. And I got all the James Bond movies. I would go by how cool the cover looked. So Moonraker was really disappointing because it had a pretty cool cover because James Bond in space and Moonraker's stupid.
Right.
And a lot of them, I saw most of them that way. The ones I didn't see, I think up to that point until I got the big 20 movie collection.
Uh-huh.
Also for my birthday or whatever around that time. Was I think I didn't see On Your Majesty's Secret Service and The Living Daylights and For Your Eyes Only. Those were the only three I hadn't seen. And now, surprisingly, For Your Eyes Only, my favorite Moore movie, I think.
Oh.
I think it's every time I see it, it goes up that list. And that's basically the only funny thing about that. That's it. That's the end of the story.
All right. Yeah, I'm thinking. Again, I mean, it's a huge undertaking to watch all the Bond movies, but one of these days, I do really want to start doing that.
It's good stuff.
So, and seeing it as an adult too, I think it would be different than seeing it as a kid. I mean, I've seen a lot, some of the old ones, like the Sean Connery ones I saw probably as a young teenager, and it's just well, I'd like to see these as an adult now to have more context, because back then I was just yeah, this is old and boring kind of.
Yeah, I rewatch them every couple of years, and so it's usually I don't glean that much new information, but sometimes it's oh man, that's even more racist than I thought last time.
Oh yeah,
mostly that, but usually it's not so bad. I mean, they're not saying that they aren't. The James Bond series in the past hasn't been pretty misogynistic and racist, but
right, yeah,
they're getting over it, thankfully, with the new ones. More or less.
Yeah.
They get better. I can't wait for that new one. It's weird because the end of Spectre is the only time that Daniel Craig gets away with a lady. So it's weird what they're gonna do, because that's part of the series, right? Is that James Bond usually drives off into the sunset with somebody.
Right.
But this is the first time Daniel Craig's done it, so it feels significant. So I wonder if they're just
gonna the first time he's
play
done
it off
yeah.
like it was just another end of a classic Bond movie where the next movie starts and that person's just never seen again, or if it's gonna be a Born Supremacy thing where she gets killed immediately.
I don't really recall there being a Bond babe in Skyfall. Was there?
No, Emma was more or less the Bond girl, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
And there was a Bond babe. She got shot pretty much immediately.
Okay.
Which is also that's kind of the classic Bond way of Bond meets some girl, usually seduces them, and they end up getting killed one way or another. And Bond's oops.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
That happens. It doesn't happen in Spectre. That person actually gets saved, I think. I think Monica Bellucci ended up getting put into the state, takes care of her. But it happens in Casino Royale, happens in Quantum of Solace. Every time James Bond, involves himself with some lady, they get brutally murdered and tortured probably first.
Yeah. R.I.P. Am I right?
Yeah. It's series tradition.
All right.
There was a continued rumor that the producer's looking for Idris Elba to be the new Bond, in which I say he's still too old. By the time they get a Bond 26 or whatever off the ground, he's going to be 49.
Or something like that, yeah. I mean,
you can do that for one movie, but to do a whole, I think I've said in the past, you got to be a 10-year commitment to be Bond. If you're pushing 60 by the time you're done being Bond, that's gross.
Right, yeah. And hey, they've done that before, and it is
it was gross. It's really gross when Roger Moore was like 58 when he did A View to a Kill.
Yeah, and when Pierce Brosnan was probably pushing like 50 or so, in that last one he did, is like, he's old.
Like, even Daniel Craig's getting up there,
Yes, he is. And whatever that non-licensed Bond movie with Sean Connery coming back in the 80s.
It's so weird because that movie was 1983 or 5. Hold on. 3. Octopus was 83.
Oh.
And like 6 years later, 5 years later, Sean Connery is in Last Crusade looking like an old man. It's
right.
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, like, he already looked kind of old, but like he like really just like embraced the old man nature,
It's
Or
the
even
beard.
like 87, he was in Untouchables looking old. So yeah, he just grew that beard and then he's like, oh, yep. He embraced the gray hair, got a beard, looking great. Never Say Never Again, not so much. And that movie has some creepy sexual assault in that movie too.
I've heard too many bad things about
that one.
it.
That one's really it tries not to be a cheap knockoff, but it is. And there's a part where James Bond pretends to be a masseuse and starts touching Kim Basinger all over. It's like, and then,
Kim Basinger's in there.
Yeah, and then he like leaves, and Kim Basinger's like, "Oh, that scamp." It's like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool at all, movie. What are you talking about?
Oh man, yeah. I've heard too many bad things. I mean, I'm curious, for sure.
I've watched all 24 and need something else to watch.
Right.
That's what you do in that situation.
Oh my God.
Directed by Irvin Kershner, director of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Who's directed pretty much only one great movie.
I don't know his repertoire.
RoboCop 2, Never Say Never Again, Empire Strikes Back, and a bunch of stuff I've never heard of.
Wow.
So Empire Strikes Back's a phenomenal film. So it's obviously he's a good director.
Yeah.
I think he's like a more of a let's get this stuff shot kind of director, from what I understand.
Right.
Rest in peace, Irvin Kershner. He did some good stuff. Great with working with actors. The performances in all those movies are great. I've never seen RoboCop 2 though, so.
Oh yeah. Well, RoboCop 2 is sort of the artsy one of the bunch.
Is it really?
They get a little bit more psychological. They get a little bit deeper into RoboCop's brain.
Are you joking or not?
Yeah.
Isn't the Verhoeven one really artsy in a sense, due to its satire?
The first movie is excellent. The first movie is a masterpiece. And if you don't get it, then watch it again because it's great.
It's basically the Bible.
Yeah.
That's like, didn't you hear Paul Verhoeven's like, yeah, he's like Jesus. So like, there's a lot of Jesus imagery. At the end, he's walking on water and stuff. Get it?
Yeah, I don't think RoboCop is Jesus, but
he's a Christ-like figure,
still
resurrected and stuff.
Right.
And he shoots that guy in the dick.
He does shoot that guy in the dick. You've seen that? I think it's like Funny or Die or something where it's just him shooting people in the dicks.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Oh, okay. But have you seen it?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they just recycled some RoboCop footage, but then put in new footage of people with their dicks out and then their dicks getting shot off.
He wasn't out in that movie. He got shot through the pants.
Well, in this Funny or Die short, they're just hanging bare dong, and then he shoots the dicks, and then they blow up. It's
yeah, it's comedy.
It's very graphic. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds funny.
Yeah.
So I think the last new movie I saw was a classic, not classic, but it was a newer Studio Ghibli film.
Oh.
Which I hadn't seen before. I don't know if have you heard of The Tale of Princess Kaguya?
No.
I think I don't want to get his name wrong, so I'm not going to say it. I forget the director's name specifically.
Okay.
Isao something or other. Taka something. Sorry. But it's a like a watercolor painterly kind of style almost.
Oh, okay.
And it's very beautiful. And there's
cool.
some parts where it goes real intense with its animation, where it's like every frame, background and character, are animated as one drawing. You know, and they flip through it. It looks really neat. Really well done. Gorgeous movie. Story-wise, a little slow, I guess. Like, it's an art. It's more of an art film than anything else.
Yeah,
I'd say in terms of it's what you want to watch it for, but yeah, it's really really pretty.
That's cool. And I'm sorry. Can you tell me the name of it again?
The Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I love those movies. Those Ghibli.
Yeah.
I always that people pronounce it differently, and I always worry that I'm getting it wrong. But
It doesn't matter.
I love that studio, and those are great movies. So, yes, Alex, we're hitting 1:30 right now. I think it's time to shut this down. What do you think?
I thought we were trying to go a little extra long for the.
Oh, we are extra long. Okay. Hey, I don't know what.
Well, I don't know. Okay. I mean, that's it. That's all you've seen.
Well, I mean, I saw Blind Spotting, I saw Mission Impossible, I saw Black Klansman, but I don't want to talk about that until next episode. Oh, well, we just rewatched Anchorman, the Tales of Ron Burgundy.
With the fake movie they made with all the scraps from the first movie?
No, I'm talking about the first movie.
Oh, it's Wake Up Ron Burgundy. That's the one.
Oh,
you know about that?
Never heard of that.
Oh, they filmed so much footage for Anchorman, and like they scrapped like a bunch of subplots because like they kind of didn't know what the movie was while they were filming it.
Oh, interesting.
But they made like an entire second, essentially feature-length movie just based off the scraps of these subplots that they cut out of the movie and released it on DVD as like a companion film.
That's
like it's like a bonus
crazy.
disc. Yeah, no. How is Anchorman still? Is it good?
It holds up. I mean, it's definitely worth some laughs and stuff. The interesting thing about comedies in the aughts is you can really, we're at the point now where we can really tell.
What was that? 07?
No, that was sooner than that.
No, it was
sooner than 07. It was probably 04 because it was.
No, you look it up.
It was before Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah,
and that was
like 05, right?
That was probably 05. Yeah, but
so it's probably 04. That movie like took my high school by storm.
Which one?
The Anchorman.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least in my family, it was a big deal too. I don't know. No, I can't recall it being like at the same time now.
2004.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And it's
not. Was it the summer of 04? Okay.
Probably.
It was because that was like right before I got into college or high school, so it was. That's probably why I don't remember it being much middle school. Because I remember like Napoleon Dynamite had far more like middle school relevance to me.
Oh man.
I feel.
That was 2004. That was summer 2000.
That was also summer.
Summer 2000.
Okay, then
it was
maybe
like a June movie.
I forget, but either way, those were both like big. At least with my siblings, those were big quotable movies.
Man, I told you that Napoleon Dynamite. We saw that movie with it right when it came out. We were in an empty theater right when this Napoleon Dynamite movie came out. And then we're like, holy shit, this movie's amazing, right? And no one knew about it yet. And everybody just thought, well, whatever, this is going to just come and leave and no one gives a shit. And then just like 1 or 2 weeks later, it just was like everywhere. It was insane.
I think it was in a similar situation. I don't think it was like an empty theater, but it was definitely like right when it was still like just the whispers.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Have you heard about this? Before it was like a huge, thing, and everyone was like, eat your fucking spaghetti or whatever the line is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not the line. I'm just making.
Shit. What does he say?
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I should get that movie.
Napoleon Dynamite?
I was thinking just this morning actually. That there's 2 movies I was thinking actually, not just one from like 2 days ago, one from just this morning. Movies that are in what like the annals of lost time, or like the great lost movies of history, I guess. One of them is Nacho Libre. Nobody talks about that. No, not because like they're good or bad or whatever. It's just like those are movies that had no impact. Nobody talks about anymore. Not because they're good or they're bad. They just kind of like had like middling reviews and didn't make much money, and they just disappeared.
I mean, that was the big follow-up for Jared Hess after Napoleon Dynamite, and it
wasn't bad. I don't remember it being bad. I just don't remember it being anything. I don't remember it.
It was basically as silly but less memorable version of Napoleon Dynamite.
I haven't seen any of Jared Hess's other work.
He hasn't had. Gentleman Broncos. I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Did some TV shows and stuff.
Don Verdeen was kind of like a nothing. It was kind of nothing. That was like, I think his most recent. I think that was like 2017.
I think he was in the
or
running to
20
do the Spider-Man movie.
He
which
was
would've
for
been
second
cool.
for Spider-Man Home. Nah, man.
Well, we'll see how Homecoming was. I don't think it would have been. It's different. It's hard to say.
I can't picture Jared
I'd like to
Hess
see him
doing
do
action.
some sort of fun movie. A lot of the times, these directors have second unit directors that take care of the action sequences, and they're mostly there for the comedy and the stuff. Like Tim Burton, didn't really know how to do action, so like he had like a lot of second unit director help for Batman stuff.
Interesting.
Like he was there for the visual look and that kind of thing. That's not uncommon to have really strong second unit directors.
Honestly, what I would say, and you might not agree with me on this, but hey, man, just do fucking Napoleon Dynamite reunion.
No, there's no point.
Listen, I would go and watch that.
I wouldn't. There's no point. I don't want to see that again. It's one done. Let it die.
All right.
Anyways, in the other movie, that was like no one talks about this movie anymore. This was kind of a bigger movie. This is a lost to history movies. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Do you remember this movie?
That was Jake Gyllenhaal,
That was
right?
Jake Gyllenhaal. That movie would never. You could not get away with that these days.
Well,
thankfully.
hey, that famous Persian actor Jake Gyllenhaal.
Thankfully nowadays when they try to cast like a white guy as an Asian, like that new Hellboy movie, and like everyone's like that's fucked up, and the guy someone will
what was in the new Hellboy movie?
Yeah, there was one of the agents, the BPRD agents, was using I think he's Japanese, I forget, but he's Asian, and they cast the guy that played the first guy that played, I fucking can't remember anyone's name because of the whiskey. Daenerys is Squeeze in Game of Thrones, that mercenary dude. The first actor to play that guy was cast as this character, and then everyone's like, that's fucked up. And he's like, and then he released a statement being like, I didn't really realize that this was a thing. I'm stepping away from the project. Sorry, everyone. And then they cast an Asian actor.
Okay, interesting.
Even though he's not, I think he's Korean and not Japanese, but that's a whole other thing. But nowadays, if you cast Jake Gyllenhaal as a Persian person, I think that movie would probably be a lot of shit slung at it, rightfully so. And there was shit slung at it too, but not to the amount that you get nowadays, because I think it's kind of bullshit that you'd be doing that.
Yeah, and I'm actually happy that we've very aggressively, well, not we, but I'm very happy that the film industry has very aggressively taken action to correct that.
It's mostly because they're avoiding controversy.
Well,
not
sure.
because they actually have they're
scruples. No, they don't have scruples. But I'm glad that I guess what I'm saying is I'm glad our culture has shifted to a point where we are demanding that. So therefore, the issue has been corrected, and now. Yeah, that kind of misinterpretation or misrepresentation in movies is not.
Yeah, so now Aladdin's not being played by Jake Gyllenhaal. Aladdin just has a dopey white guy friend in this new movie.
Right. Yeah.
So baby steps.
He wasn't. Wait, hold on. Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't going to be Aladdin.
No, I'm just saying now instead you have an actual Middle Eastern actor playing Aladdin.
Oh, gotcha.
Or a Middle Eastern character, but you still have to have a token white guy somehow.
Speaking of which, I haven't heard shit about that Aladdin movie.
It's coming out next summer. Why does it need to be?
I want to hear something.
I mean, I'm hoping to see a Hellboy trailer. Speaking of Hellboy, I actually I reread the arc that the new movie's based on. Mm-hmm. God damn, it's a good arc.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, it's so weird. Hellboy kind of seamlessly transitions from spooky, steampunky-ish Nazi scientist to fucking full-on fairy tale folklore shit.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it's just anything of mystery.
Yeah, but the time this stuff's happened, it's Hellboy's talking to King Arthur and fighting dragons and shit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you haven't read that far, I assume?
I haven't read much of anything when it comes to Hellboy.
So it's definitely more like Hellboy 2, but still, Hellboy 2 is still very Del Toro-y.
Yeah.
If they said they're going dark, and I think there's a lot of room for a rated R Hellboy, because they said they're doing R.
Yeah, they should make it lower budget. They should make it rated R, and just, preserve the brand. I want it would be cool if they could just be making 5 Hellboy movies.
Yeah, well, the thing about this was interesting because I've been reading this. It's kind of odd. The first Hellboy books, where it's just Hellboy's in a castle fighting Nazis, that you can do pretty cheap. But by the time you get later, they're armies of fucking fairy tale creatures and big dragons, and Cthulhu monsters and stuff going on. It's
Golden Armies.
A bit, not quite. I mean, Golden Army takes a lot of pages out of those books, though.
Oh yeah.
And, like a lot of the, we are the fairy tale creatures been scorned by man, and our vengeance is upon them. That kind of stuff.
Mr. Wick, or whatever that. What was
No,
it?
he's not there though.
Oh, okay.
He's made up.
Quiet, Mr. Or what is it?
Yeah,
Hello.
something like that.
Hey, Mr. Wick. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Anyways,
It's good stuff though.
that was Doug Jones, right? Not Mr. Wick, but the white.
No, that was just
Pasty.
no, that was the guy. Doug Jones played Abe Sapien. Obviously.
Right.
He played like the guy that introduces the elf. Like he's like the herald to the king of the elves. He's like, hello, welcome. He's got weird spindly fingers, and he plays the angel of death with all the eyes. Those are the three characters he plays.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I was watching an interesting little like mini documentary about like old advertisements, and one of them was like about apparently there was like a successful McDonald's what do you call it, like a series of advertisements, a series of commercials, a campaign involving this guy that looks like the moon and plays piano. And it's like, and this guy played by Doug Jones. I'm like, Doug Jones in his first role? What?
Wow.
So this is kind of interesting. It's like, and look where he's gone. A good get, though, because it was pretty successful, apparently.
Hey, McDonald's careers,
McDonald's makes careers, yeah.
Yeah. Whoever said that you can't get started at McDonald's.
Just
right?
like Mac from Mac and Me.
What, making a career out of being an alien?
No, I mean, like, he was in that McDonald's commercial. Now look at him.
Oh.
He's, like, huge.
Wait, he was in a McDonald's commercial?
I'm just joking. Mac and Me is basically a giant McDonald's commercial.
Is it?
Well, first, they name him Mac because, like, he likes McDonald's. They name him Mac, and there's, like, an actual... they take a break in the movie to actually have, like, a song and dance ad at McDonald's and just advertise how great their burgers taste.
That's shitty.
It's, like, famous
That's
for
really
that kind of
shitty.
stuff.
I still need to watch that movie. I really want to watch that movie.
Supposedly, like, I've only ever seen the famous sequence where the kid gets tossed off the cliff. And, like, the other things. I was reading, I didn't, like, watch it, but they, like, unearthed, like, a really dark alternate ending or something. That's all I know about it. You'll have to look it up yourself, but I was like, that's funny, and I kept reading, kept moving on.
I know, I heard E.T. had, like, a dark sequel in mind.
They were developing a dark sequel.
Where they get killed or chased through space or something.
Well, there's actually, from what I understand, is... Maybe I'm mixing my timeline. I think they were trying to make a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then they like had an alien, and they turned that alien into E.T., and then became a separate thing. And then they tried to make like E.T.'s family comes and they're evil or something, and they were making a sequel.
Wasn't Close Encounters kind of not a bomb, but wasn't it not like when it came out? Wasn't it just kind of like okay received? Like it wasn't a big smash hit.
I think it was appreciated. I don't think it was. It didn't do like Star Wars money.
Okay.
I think it was nominated for a couple of Academy Awards and stuff. It's a great movie. It's weird.
No, I like it.
It's one of Spielberg's kind of like less mentioned movies nowadays.
It is.
When I was a kid, it was among them, but he's done so much work since then.
Right.
Like it's like nowadays, not that he's done these like Saving Private Ryan's and Minority Reports and all those stuff that like people like talk about that movie less and less.
Well,
it's also kind of slow.
It's sandwiched between I think some of his biggest hits, right? Jaws and E.T. You know what I mean? When people think of that era of Spielberg, it's like those are the movies that are like Indiana Jones. Yeah, Indiana.
Nobody talks about 1941.
I've never seen that.
Neither have I.
Yeah. It's funny there's an episode of South Park where they're like, yeah, and Steven Spielberg, most notably famous for movies like 1941 and whatever movie people don't know about.
Purple.
Yeah, The Color Purple in 1941.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, God damn it.
It's all right.
No, I don't think. Oh, speaking of movie re-releases, the studio made Spielberg re-release Close Encounters of the Third Kind to have a special additional ending that has them go inside the spaceship at the end.
Ugh.
Yeah. I saw the deleted scene. It's just like, it's nothing. It's like, wow, great. It's like it's like a model. It's like a bunch of modeled lights and everyone, like
right.
It's like, oh, whoa, great. Woohoo. As a kid, I was super disappointed we didn't get to see the inside of the ship. But as an adult, I'm like, well, that's good. Fuck that.
I think it's much more impactful not seeing it than seeing
It's
it.
also funny if you hear Steven Spielberg talk about that movie nowadays. He's like, "Yeah, I would never make that movie nowadays because, like, as a father, I would never abandon my family. It's ridiculous." You know,
Right. Yeah.
it's just kind of funny, like, you know, how just willing. What's the actor's name?
Oh, Richard Dreyfuss.
Thank you. Richard Dreyfuss is. He's just like, his family leaves, and then he's like, "I'm going to space. See ya."
I mean, I'm sure Richard Dreyfuss has done that maybe 4 or 5 times just in real life.
Just abandoned his family. Oh, that's probably not true.
No.
That's slander.
I'm sure Richard Dreyfuss. Listen, Richard Dreyfuss, I know you're listening to this. We don't mean it. We know you're a good guy.
You don't mean it. I didn't say anything bad about you.
No, you're in this too. Don't worry about it.
No, no. I'm sure you watched Jaws. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the fuck's wrong with me?
Jaws is great.
It is great, and you only saw it like for the first time like a week ago
A week ago, yeah.
or whatever it was.
Feels like yesterday. First time I saw Jaws.
So next 100 episodes of this show, I promise I'll finally watch Gone with the Wind. Speaking of that movie,
Oh,
finally get around to watching
hey,
it.
you enjoy that. You enjoy all 5 hours of that.
I will. That's why I haven't seen it. It's because it's like, you know, I don't mind watching 2 movies at once, but you have to like set out a day to do that, you know. And usually they're 2 different movies, so you don't have to like.
Also enjoy a socially outdated depiction of the South, where the slaves enjoy being a part of their.
Is that what happens? Well, it's post Civil War South, isn't it?
It's during the Civil War.
Is it? No, okay. I thought a lot of it takes place post Civil War, and like, you
I'm
know,
sure
it's
some
like
of it
our
does.
way of life is now gone with the wind.
Well, that's part of the movie. Yes. But yeah.
I'll get around to it. It's just because all I've heard is like it's 4 hours of Scarlett O'Hara being a bitch, and it's like, okay,
Kind of.
I'll get around to it. I mean, like, it sounds like it's a great movie. I've heard nothing but like great things about it, but it's like you know, it's like you gotta
yeah.
just like go into it and like deal with this. And it's like, okay,
The cinematography and the storytelling it's you know, it's a seamless it's very technically a great movie. I saw it in middle school. I probably don't ever need to see it again.
see, yeah, I wish I watched it as part of a class or something. That would've
That's
been
what
nice.
it was. I
See, I would've
saw it
loved
in
that.
class. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I watched like Ben-Hur on my own and Das Boot on my own, and like those other
Ben-Hur.
4-hour movies.
You talking about the new one, right?
No, the old
better
one.
one.
The original
The
4-hour
the
long
new
Ben-Hur.
better one.
No, the original Ben-Hur has that great chariot sequence, and that's kind of why it should be remembered. But everything else in that movie is sort of like just.
Why not see the new?
You know, it's just like regular swords and sandals, kind of whatever.
We should see that new one.
Yeah, the movie that
Let's-
everyone was
let's
clamoring
just-
for.
Let's throw dreads on Morgan Freeman's head.
Oh right.
Doesn't even matter if they look fake. It doesn't matter. Let's just throw these dreads on his. On
That's
Morgan.
such a cliche to get like an African American actor to appear in some biblical or medieval epic just to and they're always the mentor. Like in this new Robin Hood, you got Jamie Foxx, and like in like that King
Oh,
Arthur movie, you had like
right.
Jimon Hansu, right? It's like
Right.
every one of these movies, it's so lazy.
I totally forgot there's a new Robin Hood movie
like
coming
it's great
out.
that they have these actors there, but it's just like everyone has them in the same role, and they're always doing the same thing.
Now the guy playing Robin Hood is a little Kingsman guy, right?
Big Kingsman 3 has been greenlit.
Boo.
Oh, Kingsman 2 wasn't that bad.
I'm gonna say it. Maybe it was.
I mean, I didn't like it like at all, but I'm not gonna say that like, you know, they can't make it another good Kingsman movie.
Well, okay, if they make it, yeah, let's cross our fingers that it's good. That's
I
that's
can't
my
think of
vote.
any movie series as of yet that have like screwed like jumped the shark as like, you know, screw the pooch. Like, oh, that like the amount, like you can't make a good story for it ever again. You know, can you think of a movie series that they've basically been like, this newest movie we messed up so bad that we can never tell a good story in this universe ever again?
Terminator, Predator, Alien.
That's not true, because first of all, Alien hasn't gone far past, you know.
Huh?
Well, again, the thing about also you can do the whole reboot sequel thing where it's like this the real Alien 3 we're doing, the real Halloween 2, that whole thing.
Oh.
So there's that nowadays, but still, like, they're very rarely, even in the case of the movies you just mentioned, they haven't like broken their own universe. They haven't like Mass Effect 3'd anything.
the Alien Covenant came pretty damn close.
But like, it's still a prequel, so it doesn't invalidate the other movies. You just have to ignore it.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like if in the new Star Wars movie, it's like at the end of Episode 9, it's like the Force is gone. That would like effectively, it's like we blew up the Force. It's like, well, you killed your universe there. Good job.
You know the sad thing is,
What?
I would actually, my jaw would drop, and I would be so fucking like, I would be so into that if they went that far. If they went that far to be like, you know what, we blew up the Force, and it just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I would be blown away by that.
I'd be kind of annoyed. Like, that's just too far, man.
Yeah.
That's just too far. It's like, well, I just said, like in Mass Effect 3, at the end of Mass Effect 3, before they released the fixed ending, they kind of ruined the universe because they basically made it so that no aliens and humans could ever talk to each other ever again.
Oh.
But like nobody, like it feels like the writers forgot that's how their universe worked. That's the consequence, and they're like, oh shit. That was not what we intended because we wrote this in a closet at the last minute.
Oh, God.
So they fixed it in like a DLC, like Band-Aid package. But God, that ending.
All right, man. I think I'm calling it. I'm calling it, Alex. We have a giant-sized episode, and my brain's fried.
Yeah, I'm glad you watched this with your eyes. It was really, really rivening.
Listen, guys, if you
we
like
should
us,
we should have had a green screen so we could have had like fun.
oh,
effects.
we'll build up. We'll get there. Mm-hmm. And that brings me to my next point. Hey, everybody, if you'd like us to do more of these video episodes, let us know.
It only takes one person to say it.
It only takes one. It really does only take one person to say it. So say it, and we'll keep the YouTube going. I don't know. I had fun. Hopefully, this guy had some fun. You could see it on his face. He's glowing on the inside. He's melting on the inside. You can tell.
It's a waste of my evening.
Just
kidding. No, it's fun. I wore a suit for no reason. I mean, I won't wear a suit all the time. It's just because I'm a fancy so-and-so, except not really.
So it's we got a regular Lethal Weapon dynamic going on here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I guess you would be one of them, and I'd be the other one.
And your Riggs.
I don't know which one's.
We're the odd couple, and
Riggs
I'm
is
Jack Lemmon, and you're not.
The other guy, yeah.
Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau, yeah.
Or I don't know.
Key and Peele.
Yep, famous.
We're just as good. No,
one of them is famously clean. One of them is famously messy.
I don't know.
No, it's not that bad.
Anyways, hey, why don't you hit him with your clever deets?
My really ingenious details. You can find us at filmtasticvoyage.com or filmtasticvoyage@gmail.com or filmtasticvoyage on Facebook, which is conveniently facebook.com/filmtasticvoyage and youtube.com/something or other nowadays.
You just search Filmtastic Voyage on youtube.com. It takes a while for YouTube to let you do a custom URL, unfortunately. But yeah, just type in Filmtastic Voyage on YouTube.
Keeping us down, the man.
Unfortunately, they are.
And we're also on Letterboxd, that fun times movie website where you can see what we're watching in real time.
That's right.
If you want a little sneak peek at this show, and if we do a movie that we don't talk about, you can be like, hey, what the fuck? Why didn't you talk about that movie?
Yeah.
Just let us know in the comments. I'm Batman Crothers, all one word, at Letterboxd.
And I'm Mr. Kerosene, all one word, and MR, not MISTER. Yeah. Hey everybody, we're part of a bigger podcast network, the Let Me Listen Podcast Network. Get all your favorite treats on the Let Me Listen Podcast Network, including the Filmtastic Voyage and other podcasts relating to movies and to other things.
You know what they don't have, though?
What's that?
Fucking video.
They don't have video.
Killed those podcast stars.
Listen, we are the pioneers. We are the official pioneers.
No one's ever done a video podcast before, ever.
That's right.
Can you believe that?
Hey,
I can't.
Hey, Jason, you're welcome for us doing this. But you can catch us on Let Me Listen Podcast Network. That's on SoundCloud. That's also on iTunes. Leave us some comments. Leave us some ratings.
We'll get a background sometime, I swear.
Probably by next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it'll be decorated with a bunch of movie treats. Anyways, everybody, we're taking off. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time.